The SensorTower report is a scam. Let's see what this video is about. And before we start, we're so close. Let's get 3 new subscribers in the video with 2 likes. And by the way, I love you all, you guys. By the way, I just want to let y'all know that. No, I don't really say that much, so I want to say it in here or hit my mic, but whatever. I love you guys, okay? But anyway, I know SensorTower isn't 100% accurate because, I mean, to be honest, to know what these games really make, we don't have the books, okay? The only people that have the books is accounting, so let's see what they talking about here, to be honest.
To pay for power, it's a great way to keep most players from being alienated by whales. Luckily, for the parts of the community that do like PvP, there's another outlet for that: the SensorTower monthly rankings and report. Measuring revenue and financial performance across a 30 or so day span, this report delivered at the start of each month always brings with it some of the spiciest conversations in the genre. Oftentimes, this data is just fuel for the fire when it comes to a game's biggest haters. Since if the data from this website is showing that a game's revenue went down, that surely means it's reaching its end of service, right? These numbers are oftentimes treated as gospel by many members of the community, and you can't blame them either. Gacha players aren't known for their ability to read between the lines and critically think about information. A stack-ranked list of games with 2 numbers is easy to digest and easy to talk to others about. But what if I told you that all of this data that all of these people are using to draw these conclusions is just completely made up? And the funny thing is, you could confirm that this data is complete fan fiction in as little as 3 minutes on the Gacha Revenue website itself, the original source of all these garbage reports. If there's one conclusion to come to after a surface level review of the data, it's clear that none of these numbers make any sense at all, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And today, we'll be taking the time to break down what those reasons are. As always,
you know, I should get back into Cat Fantasy. I was thinking about it. I may check it out, see how the game is. But whatever. But my thing is about the SensorTower thing itself. To be honest, to be truly honest, right? I used to think it was real. I'll be honest. I used to think it was like, oh, so these are stuff that they get from there. But then I realized, you know, most of these companies keep they profits like close to their chest, right? So how the heck do they get this data? So then I realized more that, oh, maybe that's not actually the real data. Because what, don't they like also like interpret also with the money as well? They may talk about this in the video, but I heard that they what they do is they get some factual data, but most of the time they interpret like between certain things, interpret the amount that's actually spent. So which means they can, to be honest, they can make up any number and it'd be real, right? Like, well, it's not real, but they can make up any number and it'd be like, oh yeah, this is what's really here. Believe us. It's really just a trust me bro thing, to be honest. My opinion, I'm gonna be real. I don't even look at SensorTower anymore. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because I don't really care for it. I mean, long as my game is still profitable enough where they're not saying themselves that they're shutting down, I'm good. Because we never gonna know how much they actually make unless they come out and say we made this much, right?
If you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. The most significant disclaimer when it comes to SensorTower revenue is also one that is never made known on the monthly revenue reports. That disclaimer is that a majority of their revenue estimations are completely made up. Going onto the Gacha Revenue website itself and searching up Wuthering Waves, specifically in CN, and then changing to Advanced View will show you that, wow, there isn't a single actual piece of data when it comes to Android revenue at all. Gacha Revenue guesstimates off of SensorTower's numbers, or just makes up this entire column by multiplying the iOS numbers by 150 to 175%. When we take a look at the month of June, for example, $12.3 million in revenue, or 63.7% of the entire CN region, is completely made up. There's a reason why the Gacha Revenue website hides this information behind their convoluted interface and a tiny, tiny little button. There's a reason why they never clarify that over 60% of the actual numbers have no factual basis unless you dig into their FAQ. This data is genuinely bad, and there would be far less people blindly trusting these reports if they knew how bad it actually was. People on the internet are gullible. Hardly anybody takes the time to actually validate the information that they're looking at. And this Gacha Revenue website is built built on a foundation of lying through omission by not disclosing any of these massive flaws directly to the viewer on the front page of the report. It's one of the most dishonest portrayals of performance possible, and it's a shame that a report like this that can't justify more than half of its data gets so much headspace across gacha communities. This information alone might be enough to convince you that these reports are garbage. But what if I told you that its problems extend beyond that, to the point where weeks of data and sales don't even show up at all? We saw a prime example of this in Wuthering Waves with the release of Shorekeeper and the absurdly awful revenue numbers reported at the start of October, which indicated that Wuthering Waves made only $6.5 million. Many believe that,
which we all know that's not true. First of all, you could tell that that's not true because one word. Let's be real. The character was hyped. The character's hyped from like a long time ago. Everyone was excited for it. She has a beautiful thing. When she was drip marketed, everybody was excited for it. Like the character before that was, I'm pretty sure, was the free character, right? So more people had more money to save up to spend, right? Like all of that equals up into a lot of money being made, but somehow they went down. Like that makes no sense, right?
the first 2 days of Shorekeeper's banner were—
That'd be like Raiden Shogun when she first came out, and it being like, oh, well, Genshin lost about $8 million during this banner, by the way, because people just didn't spend. Like, you know that's cap. We all know that's cap.
Included in those totals, and the wave of doom posting and counter doom posting dominated the community across the beginning of October. I was guilty of it myself.
Yeah, I was guilty of it as well. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. It's clickbait. That's all they were doing. Let's be real. Most of these people, they probably was clickbaiting. I was. I mean, in the opposite direction. I was like, this ain't like, they probably didn't even add the Shorekeeper one. I can't remember exactly what I said in that video. I made a video about it. But I was like, this ain't gonna be the end of Wuthering Waves. Like, Shorekeeper, I'm pretty sure they just didn't add it in. I forgot exactly what I said.
And then, lo and behold, less than a week later, these numbers spiked $5 million overnight to a total of $11.5 million. There's a simple explanation for this. It's a flaw in the data and how it's gathered. By taking a look at the Gacha Revenue FAQ, we'll find that the revenue numbers for the month can't be accurately reported until at least a few weeks into the following month. Similarly to the fictional CN Android revenue data, the viewer has to find out this information on their own and come to that conclusion themselves. Again, this is simply another example of this website and report lying through omission by not making this dynamic immediately clear to the viewer. How difficult would it be to add a small disclaimer to the top of all these reports and confirm that a majority of the CN data is completely made up and that monthly revenue numbers aren't even close to finalized until the 15th of the following month? Wouldn't players be able to make more accurate assumptions or conclusions about the performance of their games if they had this full information? Wouldn't it be better for the gacha community as a whole if they knew there's a giant asterisk on every single number on these reports? The fact of the matter is that these reports and this website thrive off misleading an audience. There would be far less trust, far less acknowledgement, and far less traffic to this website if they were upfront about the massive holes in their data and reporting. There's a reason why they hide all of the important disclaimers about their numbers deep in their FAQ. No.
Just like any other company, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. I'm going to be real. A lot of companies hide a lot of things that they don't want you to know in the FAQs. You know why? Because they know most people ain't going to go there to look at it.
Knowing that a vast majority of viewers will never actually look at it. There's a reason why this FAQ isn't front and center on their website, and there's a reason why you have to click into the questions to even find the answers. It's because the person curating this data and running this website is pretty much doing whatever the hell they feel like and painting whatever narratives they'd like. Expanding the question, SensorTower only reports iOS CN revenue. Where did you get Android data from? Gives you the answer of, I saw some other people make revenue posts by multiplying iOS numbers by 1.5 to 2.5. So I just went with 1 3/4. That is this data scientist's justification for millions of dollars in fabricated revenue data. They saw other people guesstimating between 150 to 250% and just went with 175 for fun. Who cares about citing your sources? Who cares about validating your data? Just throw a multiplier on it because you saw other people people doing it. Reading this one answer alone should be enough to invalidate any conclusions you have from this report completely. If the creator of this website truly wanted to give an accurate overview of revenue performance without misleading the community, they wouldn't publish monthly reports on the 1st. They would acknowledge the faults in their data gathering and delay all monthly reports until the 15th to make time for accurate data, but they don't. They would make it abundantly clear to anyone viewing their reports that a huge portion of their revenue data, over 60% of their CN numbers, is completely made up in one of the laziest calculations possible, instead of hiding the specifics behind multiple clicks and categories on their website. But they don't. They would put huge disclaimers at the beginning of their reports indicating that there are massive flaws with its numbers and dissuade people from making hasty assumptions with bad data, and minimize the negative backlash multiple games receive at the start of every month, but they don't. The fact of the matter is that GotchaRevenue.com is only taken seriously because people simply don't know how it works, and the website's developer doesn't make it clear how to find out. Because once a person knows how these reports actually work, they'll naturally come to the conclusion that it's pretty much completely worthless and not worth analyzing at all, and that would be bad for business. To wrap it all up, all I'll say is that these reports should be taken with the fattest grain of salt on earth. When the creator is making up over half their data and hiding the reason why, you know you're seeing the product of
Yeah, because like if it was like 10, oh, I see the video almost done. I say that then.
someone whose goal is to mislead people. Don't fall for the bait. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.
See, my thing is, like, if it was about like 10 or 20% made up, right, I wouldn't care that much. I would be like, okay, it's only 10 or 20%. I mean, yeah, that'd be big, but it wouldn't be that big. But when I didn't know it was 67, right? And if it's that much banging up, there's no point in even following it, because who knows what's real. Like, to be honest, whatever Waves could have made way less. Genshin could be making way less than what it shows to be, or it could be making way more. Like, who knows at that point, right? I think Genshin actually did come out and like state that they did make a crap ton of money though. They don't say how much they make per banner, but I think they did say they made a good amount of money though. So I think they're good with that, right? The only way that we would actually know how much these companies make is literally one way only: by asking them themselves and hoping they give out how much they make. Most of the time, they're not going to do that, because that is their accounting books, and they don't really care to show how much they make because it makes no sense. But anyway, other than that, oh my gosh, just look at that, it's Black Clover. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, review. Don't forget to share the video. Yeah, I'm probably going to be done making SensorTower videos for a little bit. I mean, I still think it's fun to make those videos though, because it's just something fun to do. But I don't know, I think about it. I'll see y'all guys in the next video. Yeah, peace out.